This is the Big Friendly Swim podcast. I'm the Big Friendly host, and today's
Hi.
guest is about to be a fifth year at Arizona State. Caroline Bentz, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing super well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor.
Of course. So, talk to me about your time at Virginia Tech. You spent 4 years there, so your
Yeah.
entire undergraduate time in college. What were the
hmm
initial factors that led you to the team?
I was looking around. I came from club like NCAP West in Virginia, and I wasn't sure how far or close I wanted to be to home, but my conversations with Sergio at the time went so well. And I could truly tell that like he saw me and believed in me as something more than numbers, more than times. And he was like, I believe that we can do this, and I believe that we can do this, and I would love for you to be incorporated in this. And I got along really well with the coaches. They all seemed like super excited. And when you go to a certain college, they're always like, "Oh, like this is home, like you can feel it," or whatever. But yeah, so I was just super excited by the potential and by Sergio's training and things like that. And so everything just clicked together at the time, and it was great. Worked out really well.
So now with your final year there behind you, can you compare your emotions like after your freshman year compared to now as like a graduating senior heading into transferring to a different school?
Yeah. So freshman year was crazy. I actually had taken a gap year the year before, because when I graduated, I was 17. So I was going to stay back a year, and I started training just for trials and things like that. And it actually worked out really well in my favor because of COVID, and there was no NCAA's and everything got shut down. So like, thank God that I did that, because then I didn't lose anything like some of the COVID year did. So that was actually a huge blessing. But I came from, again, like a club, and we just pounded yardage like all the time. So switching from a program where I was being trained constantly to do everything all the time, um, and really making sure that I was like a jack of all trades, to honing in and being more specific in college and doing more specific mid distance stuff, it was a big change for me. So that was really exciting. And it was a bit more difficult for me, though, in the fact that I was like, oh, like it's really hard to make NCAAs at this time. And performing at NCAAs, like there's only a few people, or like a few percentage, that do drop time at the end of the season. So ACCs, I remember like I had some good swims and I was happy with that, but it was just a whole new ball game, especially and with COVID, like we were getting tested like every day. So I was really happy to get that under my belt and just kind of like keep moving forward. And now, like as being a senior, you take every moment and you have to be like, this is super precious. This is one of my last things, my team. I want to do the best that I can. I want to contribute the most that I can, because, you're trying to break through your freshman year and see, but senior year, you're really trying to put it out on the line and see what you can do and like push for your team and things like that. So yeah, like, and I'm much more confident in how I swim things now as opposed to back then. It's a lot more like technical, like I guess detail oriented, because I've been working on these things for so many years with the same coaching staff. So it's really all just it's all mindset. At the end of the day, people are like, "Oh, it's mental," but it's mental, and you just have to be confident. And because I've had some very hard times making NCAA's in the past like 3 years, and luckily this year I was so grateful that I got to like kind of sit back and relax, and be like, okay, I have that locked in. Like I don't have to worry about making NCAA's this time around.
So at NCAA's this year, at least on paper, it seemed like this was like your best NCAA's you've had of the four you've been to. But
hmm
now that you've done four NCAA's, you've done Olympic trials, You've done like 4 full years of college swimming. What
Yeah.
feels different for you now heading into your second Olympic trials?
My second Olympic trials, I mean, the first time, especially like it's all like it's such a huge venue. Everything is so big. Everybody's there. It's like a lot of pressure. You can tell that everyone is on the edge of your seat. Because you know, when you go to ACCs or something like that, like there's pressure. Then you go to like women's only NCAAs, and it's like, okay, there's pressure on pressure. Like even, you know, like the big gals who are in the
Yeah.
game are like, you know, trying to perform. And so this time around, I have a lot more experience. I have a lot more confidence and things like that. Like my first Olympic trials, they have that huge jumbotron that's like in the
Hmm.
middle of the pool, and I'm a backstroker. I'm used to like staring at nothing. Okay, so there's this big jumbotron, and then I see myself in the two back. Dude, oh my God, I was not prepared for that. And it was like zooming in on my face and then it zoomed out. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, I'm doing good. Like, I was like, I'm in front of the people in the middle. And then there's like a random girl off in like lane 8 who's like bawling. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to show me this. I'm not supposed to be able to see. So that was something that actually really threw me off the first time around. That was kind of annoying because I wasn't prepared for it. But this time around, definitely going to close my eyes maybe a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm definitely just prepared for the atmosphere and what that is like, as well as, you know, just little factors like that, you know, ready rooms, things like that. It's all, you know, connected, and it's also kind of strange because now like my you know, like you grow up and you're like looking up to all of like these insanely, you know, fast, like huge, larger than life athletes and things like that. And you're like, whoa. And now I'm going there and I'm like, these are my friends. Like, these are my homies. Like these people, like, we all know each other, you know, things like that, because, you know, we've all raced and
Yeah.
raced over the years and things. So it's more comfortable because I'm like, oh, these are my homies. Like I'm swimming against the same people again. And it's not as much of like, oh my gosh, like I'm next to Olivia Smoliga or something like that, you know. I'm like, I've looked up to her for a really long time. You know, things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You know, I like when I first started like if I look back like the first interview I've done, first person I ever interviewed was Tom Shields in December 2020. And
Really?
like first and second was Tom Shields and Nathan Adrian were the first 2 people I interviewed. So if you look
So
at
cool.
both of them, I'm like terrified. Like I'm stumbling over my words and I'm like shaking and like really really nervous. But then now it's become really cool to me that like after doing like I've done like 50, 60 interviews now.
Uh-huh.
It's like sometimes I'm on calls with people and the interview's done. Like I interviewed I'm not sure if you know Mackie Hodges. I interviewed her a few months ago. And we finished the interview and just started talking about random swimming news for like
Aw.
20, 30 minutes.
Oh my
So
God, I
it's
love that.
it's become really cool to me that like you said, like I used to be terrified. It's a completely different like in different thing than like competing against people.
Yeah.
But like I used to be terrified and now it's like okay, like I've interviewed all of these people and they've all had positive experiences. Who's to say that I can't have a positive experience with the next person I talk to?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I think one of my first Tier Pro series or something, I was like 13 or 14, and I accidentally bumped into Matt Grievers, who's a giant. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, it's okay.
He's been like my personal hero for like the entirety of the time that I've known he's a person who existed. He's been like he's still up there. He's like the top of the list of like people that I want to interview. But I met him at a Tier Pro meet in 2018. And I had gone up to the booth and I wanted to buy one of his caps, like one of the tier caps that had like like the American flag and Grievers on the side. Lady in front of me buys the last like 3. And I go and I sit down with my friend and he just kind of nudges me. He's like, look over there. He's just on his phone, like playing a game. And like, I want you to picture, I'm 6'4". So picture somebody of my size going up to a guy who's half a foot taller than me and just stumbling over my words and just being like so nervous. But he was like the nicest person ever.
Oh,
It
that's
was so
so
like
cool.
it was so funny.
Amazing.
And then like
Wow.
going to like Golding Goggles last year.
Oh, that's
Um,
so cool.
I like met like first interview. It was the first time I'd ever done anything like that in person. Like I packed myself up, drove down to LA at like 5 in the morning, took a nap, went to the event, went to Universal Studios, slept, and went home.
Wow, that is a crazy trip.
It was a
Like, good
whirlwind
on
of
you.
like 24 hours. But like first person I interviewed, I remember distinctly was Lily King, and I like it was again an instance of like I was stumbling over my words and like I could hear my voice shaking. And then by the end of the
Mhm.
night, I was going around just like talking to all these Olympians, and I'm like, "Hey guys,
What's up?
yeah,
You know me. I'm right
yeah."
here.
It like I
That's so
mean,
cool. I love that.
the moment I knew like, okay, I'm doing something cool here, was when I
Mm.
was at a club meet for my younger brother because I live in the Bay Area in California.
Okay, dope.
I was at a club meet for my younger brother, and I see Nathan Adrian because he coaches a club team now, and he is
Oh,
talking to a few kids, and he waves to me and calls out my name, and I'm like, "Hi!" Like I'm still very much a swim nerd, but there's always going to be a part of me that's like, just keep it cool, just be fine.
see, that's homie right there.
Yeah, like I'll be at
Homie.
Olympic trials this summer.
Mhm. Oh,
My
cool.
media application got approved like 2 days ago. Um,
Awesome.
so I'm very nervous, but I'm very excited.
Oh, that'll be so cool to have you on deck and just get to interview everyone.
Yeah,
That'd be
I'm so
awesome.
excited.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
it's
gonna
a good
have like
opportunity.
stickers, and I'm like buy like you were talking about the jumbotron.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So
That's
I'm
crazy.
like over the moon. I like cried very hard.
I'm so excited. Yes.
So
Oh,
hopefully
love
I'll
it.
get to see you there too. I'm like that's the thing I'm most excited for is like to see the people that I've interviewed in person and be like,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah, I'm gonna come with you for sure. That's
So
super cool.
speaking of Olympic trials, how did those first Olympic trials boost your confidence going into your collegiate career? Because if my math is right, you had done 1 year of college at that point.
Hmm. Um, really cool to be a part of. It boosted my confidence because, I had, never, no one ever has been on that stage, until you get there, basically. And it's just a whole new ball game. It's a super long meet. It's prelims, semis, finals. Everyone is uptight. Like everyone's super like well, there's not like another room in, USA Swimming where you're gonna see everyone actually be nervous. And it was also crazy because like that Olympic trials, like, I saw some of my idols or people that I looked up to like not make it and seeing other people step forward or younger people like take the baton go next and it was like and it just like solidified to me. I was like, this is a whole new ball game, and you think that it can't get any faster and it always does.
Oh my!
Like
It's gotten ridiculously fast.
every year you're like, every year it can't get harder, it's gonna get harder, it's gonna get harder,
Yeah.
literally. Like thank god, like I kind of escaped the ACCs, but the next ACCs crazy. And I was like, yes. But, and NCAA's it's only going to get harder, like Tori and Claire weren't even there this past NCAA. So,
Yeah.
that's going to be a big, and Reagan, big contributing factors there. But yeah, just every year it's like you got to be prepared for what's next and you got to be on it. So I think that Olympic trials really was like, just take it how it comes and prepare for the next, like, because you can only focus on what you can control. Just forget the rest. If you can't control it, deal with it. Like, because that's all you have in the moment. Because things like this, it's just how you perform in the moment.
I remember those Olympic trials, like Matt Grievers didn't make the team, Ryan Lochte didn't make the team, Kelsey Dahlia got locked out of the 100 fly. Like,
Yes,
Nathan Adrian didn't make the team.
yes, yes. I was like, he's always been like my favorite since I was a kid.
He's
So
so
him
nice.
and Natalie
Like,
Coughlin. Yeah,
he is the person that everybody says that he is.
yeah,
Like
that's awesome.
he genuinely loves swimming and loves, like, even now that he's like, he told me, like, if I never compete again, like, I'm happy.
Oh,
Like, even now that he's, like, basically retired, he's still very active and
yeah,
very involved, and he's coaching
mhm.
more kids.
That's so
So,
cool.
oh, sorry.
No worries.
So, Nation's Capital, like, aquatics has had a pretty storied
Mhm.
history of success. I mean, like,
Yeah.
a few good swimmers have swam there.
You
um,
say?
yeah, like a couple. Talk to me about your
Uh,
time there and how you feel like it prepared you for the challenges of college swimming.
oh my gosh. So I trained with Jeremy Lin for 2 years. And it's we have like there's so many different locations for NCAP. So I trained at NCAP West with Jeremy Lin. And him and Bruce Gavon will like always, like there's not like beef, but it's always like which site can score more
Yeah.
points usually at some like big meet or whatever. Um, so they're hardcore. Like Jeremy's a hardcore dude. One time I walk in and there's like the entire practice is just 6 miles on the board, and I'm like, like
You're
what?
like, I'm a
You know?
backstroker.
No, literally, I'm like, please sprint. Is there a sprint lane? No. It's either that or you have 9 4 a.m.s. I'm not even joking you. And like, it just, there's some points where, like, I forget. This is one of the hardest practices of my life. And I was in such a terrible mood. I think it was literally like 31s off the blocks on like 230. Who does that? Nobody. And, and Jeremy's like clapping in my face, and I was like, stop. I was like, stop it.
You're like, I'm
I was
done.
like,
I'm
I'm not in a good
leaving.
mood. I'm not in a good mood. And he's told me to leave before, and I've been like, I'm staying. Like, so me and Jeremy have always had like a great relationship. We've always talked, like, been super blunt, super upfront. And, there gets times at meets where he was like, I need you to lower this girl's self esteem right now. Like, he'll say that to me, like, before an event, and I'll be like, okay, what are we working with here? But yeah, it was always super intense, honestly. Like, he encouraged, like, talking shit during practice. He encouraged us yelling at each other. But it was really like, we were a very tight knit group and we bonded a lot. And of course, I always raced against Phoebe at like every NCAP meet, or Tori, because Tori was at Arlington. So I like grew up with them basically, and I always was racing them. And yeah, I just got really used to that tight knit culture and like really trying to push one another in practice, being vocal, and just, learning that you have to do the work. Like the way you get better is you do the work. Um, and backing down sometimes, even when you want to, even if you're not at, 100%, 90%, like you still need to do it because it is going to make you better. So that's what's prepared me for college, like the most, because I'm like, I need to get this work done. I need to do the work, and I need to do it to like the best that I can do right now, whatever that is, no matter how sore I am or whatever. I know I've been through worse, and I know that I can get through this race pace set right now. So having that mental toughness is what's really helped me.
It's funny. I interviewed earlier this week. I interviewed Owen McDonald, who's just transferring out of ASU, and
Oh,
he swam for Dynamo Swim Club, which is another like
uh,
storied club program. And
mm-hmm.
you guys like talked about essentially the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's really funny. Like, I wonder if there's like a trend of like club swimming, like setting up people well for college swimming like that by doing those harder sets and doing that extra yardage, so that when you get to college swimming, where there's still the yards, but it's more about quality of what you're doing. Like, there's probably some correlation there of like that being extremely beneficial for you once you get to college.
Yeah, definitely. Because we had a long course meet like every year where you had to swim a mile or had to do something. And like, when am I ever gonna do that? When am I ever gonna swim the 4 a.m. again? Never. But I had to do it at the time, and I had to get it done and like figure out what would be best, at the time. So I am really thankful for that, because it did make my other events much easier, because now I'm like, I just do 200 and I feel better about that. So yeah, definitely. I think there's a huge correlation between like kind of quantity and then quality.
That's something I've always told people too. I'm like, if you want to be a good like 200 freestyler, you have to do the 400 or 500 freestyle at least at like meets where you're not like tapered. Like, usually just
exactly.
double the event number if you want to train for that event.
Basically, yeah, and then die in that one, and then you'll probably die a little less in the shorter one.
My last collegiate season, I was the butterflyer on our B medley relay, like our B 400 medley relay every meet, and my coach would put me in the 200 fly, and I went 00 flat in my 100 fly in like high school, and then never went under 110. Because I had started just doing like distance freestyle, and I wasn't training butterfly. And my coach put me in the 200 fly every single meet. Last meet of the season, I didn't go 00 flat again, but I went 104.99, and I'm like, I'm happy with that. Like, fastest 100 fly split I've done in like 6 years. I swam for a junior college. We weren't like, I didn't swim for like a Division 3 or 2 school.
But love it. Love the send. Just full send.
Yeah. It was, I like touched the wall and I just kind of laughed. I'm like, okay, so maybe the 2-fly training actually like helped, even though I hated every second of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the stuff that you hate.
And then he put me in it at our conference meet, and I'm like,
that's not what I asked.
And the 2-fly,
there's a line.
It follows the same schedule as like NCAA, so I did the 2-fly and the mile on the same day.
That's actually the worst double in the world, I think. That's definitely the worst double in the world. Oh my God.
I still think the Brendan Burns one that he did at NCAA's this year, where he did the 2-back 2-fly, I would rather do the mile and the 2-fly. But I'm just kind of stupid like that.
Yeah.
It's
no, but those 200s are brutal.
Yeah.
And to place how he plays, crazy. Yeah.
I've always wondered why they don't like swap like the breaststroke event. I don't know, because I mean probably 400 IMers are doing the 200s of stroke. But like having the 2-back, 2-breast, and 2-fly on the same day, and with a mile on the same day, has always kind of struck me as odd. Like, take one of those and put it over to like take like the 2-breast and swap it with the 100-breast, or take one of them and put it on the first day.
I know. I will never understand the lineup, to be honest. Like, I'm always stuck with that 100-back, like, very last event at night, and then 2-back, like, first thing in the morning, and I'm like, can we do, like, the 200 first, maybe? And then
it's such a weird schedule.
I know, but it's okay. we gotta rock with it.
So, now that you're transferring to ASU, what are you most excited for about being there? Because I think on a surface level, like, people assume transfer... Actually, I say on a surface level, and I say people. The Swim comments section assumes somebody is transferring just because they hated wherever they were, when it's way more complicated than that.
Yeah.
So, what are you most excited for about ASU, and then what made the decision for you to attend grad school there?
So I am just so excited for a new opportunity and a bit of a change of pace. I have loved my undergrad here, and I've had an incredible time with the team, with the coaches, everything. Um, so for me, well, I am in Blacksburg, Virginia. And if you know where Blacksburg is, it's a little bit in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. There's some corn and pastures and cows and things. Um, so a big thing for me was definitely location, getting into, a more metropolitan area and a city, things like that. With more opportunities to set me up for after swim and things. So that was definitely a big draw that I was looking at. I was not looking at anywhere that was not in a city. Um, so that was a big contributing factor. I knew that I needed great chemistry with the team and with the coaches. I'm not going anywhere to be miserable or to not like have, respect and like feel good about the people that I'm training with and competing for and things like that. And the energy at ASU was just awesome. Like I got there, everyone's super friendly, everyone's super excited, super motivated. They're coming off the heels of, their men's victory and things like that. I think Herbie's a great coach. And honestly, I never really cared about Bob. like I knew he was never gonna be my coach really, so that made no difference to me. So much respect for him. Great coach, obviously. He's got all those accolades, but that made zero difference to me. And everyone, like, I'm a fifth year, like I've been through the recruiting process before. I've seen it all behind the scenes, like cut and dry, like there's no BS. So I get to take advantage of that and like have this opportunity to speak frankly with these coaches and to see everything that they're doing. And they were really blunt and we're all like really open and just like laid out everything in front. And it was awesome. I love the team vibes. And I really wanted to be at a program that I could contribute to a lot, that I could, like that I knew that I would be appreciated for what I could bring. And like, I'm not going to lie, like, if I want to go somewhere, like I want to break records,
Yeah.
I'd love to throw my name up on the board. That'd be incredible, especially for my last year to close everything out. Love that. So, and I know that Herbie's an excellent coach. Like everyone there, like truly loves Herbie. And the coaching staff in general is just awesome. So that's what the location side, the academic side, they have so many options, for grad school. And then like the team was just incredible. So that's why I made my decision.
Everybody who asks me like who I think is like one of the best upcoming coaches in the country right now, because at least in like my swimming circle, like whenever any swimming news breaks, I get like 10 people asking me like, what do you think of this? I've always sung Herbie's praises, especially after interviewing him and one of his assistant coaches, Austin, earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
He, in my opinion at least, is gonna end up being another Bob Bowman or another Ray Lewis or another Anthony Nesty or Greg Troy, all of these like internationally famous coaches who have had like a storied career of putting these athletes on the map. In my opinion, within like the next 20 years, he's going to end up with a career like that.
No, yeah. And he's an alum and he genuinely
Yeah.
loves that team. He loves that place. He loves that team. I couldn't agree more. And just talking with them, like they're hungry. Like they're hungry. I'm hungry. That's what I want. Like for one more year, like let's, just go kind of balls to the wall one last time and see what we can do.
It seems
So
like their
I was,
women's team is getting some really good recruits too. Like, I'm excited to
yeah,
see where the women's team ends up placing next year, because like
yeah.
they're getting a lot of really good recruits and a lot of really good talent.
Mm-hmm. It's really exciting. So I'm jazzed.
So you talked about it briefly, but moving forwards, like after your NCAA career has come to a conclusion, what's next for you afterwards? Like, what does your life look like when your time swimming at an elite level comes to an end?
Well, I come from a military family. And they all like work in DC, or now I have like my siblings are like spread across, wherever. And I'm the youngest in my family. All my other siblings are like married, starting to have kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, go have fun with that. So I'm really looking to set myself up, to get a nice job outside of school. And then something that my family has done is my siblings have usually lived abroad for a year, and then gotten jobs from there. So I would love to work abroad for a year, hopefully after that, and explore a little bit in that time, and then come back to the United States, see my options and see where I land. Definitely like in a city or so. Like my family's close to DC and Atlanta, things like that. So that's what I'm headed for.
What was your undergraduate degree in?
Political science. So now I'm looking into their media and journalism's master's graduate school at Cronkite at
Nice.
ASU. Yeah.
I'm transferring to finally finish up my degree in journalism at San Jose State next year. So I'm right there with you
Nice.
on journalism.
Oh, let's go. I know we really gotta we gotta lock in for all this. My finals and everything, there've been so many papers and things like that. So I have a few actual finals and then just a lot of typing.
The pipe dream goal is that at Olympic trials I meet like some person from NBC or somebody and they just set me up with a job and I don't have to go finish school.
Yes,
But
please.
because there's like
Look at me. Look at this personality. Right?
yeah.
If you want this, you need this on your team. Yeah.
There's like 2 days of press conferences before the meet, and then the night before there's like a media welcome party. So I'm like, all right, that's my chance.
That's your in. That's where you gotta go. Be social, schmooze a little.
Where are you thinking
Love
of
that.
going? Like what countries are on your list?
Probably. Well, it would be lovely if they spoke English. So if I can go to like London, or my sister did a year in Australia, and she was in Brisbane, and that was really cool. So maybe something like that. Or my sister lives outside of Tokyo, and so she has an amazing time there. She loves it there. They might move there permanently. So I don't know. We'll see we'll see
Australia's
where
been
it
on my
takes me.
list of places that I've wanted to go for a long time.
Can we talk about how none of the Australians, or like not none of them, but very few, come over here and they're so dirty? They're so dirty at swimming. It's crazy.
They're like they literally have like I think a smaller population than like the United States. And
Yeah.
their women's freestyle is stupid good.
Yes.
It's
Stupidly
insane.
good. It's crazy. And I was at Irvine last summer, and like everyone who didn't go to Worlds or whatever was at Irvine. And I was just, chilling, looking around, and then I was like, oh, there's a big group of Australians here. And then I was like, oh, they did not come to play. They did not come to play around. They're throwing down. All right, guys, I didn't think it was this serious. Now we're getting serious.
They're like
So that's just funny.
it's gonna be great. Like Emma McKeon might be locked out of the 100 freestyle. I mean, worst case scenario, she might not even make the team on the relay. Is like how crazy good they are. The reigning Olympic champion might end up being locked out of an individual spot in the 100 free.
Isn't
It's
that
just stupid.
insane? What
Like
is this sport? Oh,
Like the only U.S. equivalent I can think of right now is like men's 100 free is getting there, but like women's backstroke, like the women's 200 backstroke final at World Championship trials last year, eighth place would have made the final at World Championships. I think it was like by like 13 100ths of a second, but like that's
mm,
still insane that you can get eighth at your country's trials and you would have finaled.
yeah.
It's
Yep.
it's ridiculous. I'm
It's
like
just getting wild.
it's there's gonna be so many events like that too. Like the men's 1500 free is like in the middle of.
Oh,
I've been saying it so many times. We're in like the distance age like renaissance right now. Like
that's a good way to put it.
I want to see like
Yeah.
the mile world record get broken, the 400 free world record get broken. Like
I
it's
think we're gonna see a
this
lot of
summer
that
is
this
gonna
year.
be just stupidly fast.
No, it's gonna be insane. And like being completely honest, is America even leading it? Probably not. Like,
I think that makes it more fun. Like,
mm-hmm.
it's, yeah, as an American, it's nice to see my home country doing well. But, like, the swim nerd in me got really excited at, like, the Doha World Championships, seeing,
Uh-huh.
like, all the different countries that have never won medals before. Like,
Oh, that's
that's
so cool.
really exciting. Like, there was, I think, 18 different countries won at least one gold medal.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Wow, I
it's
love
like,
that.
and anybody who, and I know people discounted those world championships a lot, but like, in my opinion, anybody who won a medal there is a contender for a medal this summer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, for sure.
some of the times were faster than what it took to medal last year. Like, and
Yeah.
people were like, no, no,
Absolutely.
these world championships don't matter.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Get in line, get in the
Yeah.
back.
Like that first night, all the, like, I love browsing the swim comment section, because sometimes there's people actually having, like, a nice discussion about, like, oh, I like this
Uh-huh.
swimmer and I like what they're doing, and people are like, oh yeah, me too. And then sometimes there's people just being rage baiters behind a keyboard. Um,
Yeah.
but the people who are like, these world championships don't matter, no one's even gonna break a world record, and like, the comment said like 2 minutes ago, and I'm watching the men's 400 free relay, and I'm watching Panjan Lee lead off and break the 100 free world record.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. You're like idiot.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I left a
Happen.
comment with like a link to the stream, and I'm like, you were saying?
Anyways.
So my last
Yeah.
question for you, and this I ask everyone this question because I think it's just so much fun to talk about. What are some of your happiest memories that you've had, both
Oh,
at Virginia Tech and at NCAP? And then what are some of the hardest and most memorable sets you've had?
oh, well, I already told you one of them.
The 6 miles?
What? And he was like, I'm not gonna stand here and look at your eat shit face and your eat shit attitude. And I was like, bro, you want me to be happy
I'd
now?
lose count.
I'm so no, you don't understand. I'll lose count at 300. Like I'm always going on the wrong interval. You would think that after like so many years, no. Anyway, so some of my best memories. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be wow. ACCs at Georgia Tech 2 years ago. It was the first combined men's and women's ACCs. It was insane. It was the first time I think that Yusuf won like both events. Sam Tornquist won two back. I think Carlos won two IM, two breast or something like that. Filippo Del Maso like got second in our 4 IM. Like we were going nuts. It was insane. Like finals, we were definitely by far the loudest team on deck. Like we were the loudest team. We were cheering for other teams. Other teams would recruit us to cheer for their people. Like it was actually the best ACCs we had. It was insane. We had so much success. It was awesome to watch and to be a part of. Even Emma Atkinson, I think she had like her fastest 200 back there, and she went like 149 or something. Like that was the heat or whatever that had like 3 or 4 149s from the two back. It was insane. And to like watch that and to be a part of like a team that contributed to, something of that stature was awesome. Especially when you see people put in the effort and work hard and do what they do in practice and then they get to apply it and you see their hard work pay off and you're also contributing to like relays and things like that. Like it's an awesome feeling. And I've never been more proud of our teams and things like that. And at our first trials, actually, like I've been close friends with AJ Pouch for a while too, and he was like signing kids like caps and things like that. And I was taking videos of him being like, "Oh my god," being like, "This is the first. It's happening right now." So that was so cool. And actually, my first trials, I met Gunnar Bentz. And if you look at
I
his
saw
comments,
yeah, people thought you guys were
Brandon,
siblings.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, isn't this your dog, bro? Like, I'm sorry, no offense to the man, But like every time, without fail, everyone thinks that I'm Gunther's kid. So I like to play along. I'm like, I'm his half cousin or something like that. Or I always try to say something stupid, being like, yeah. So I met him and we chatted it up, because of the name and stuff like that. And of course, being part of this NCAA's was super rewarding, and I got to contribute to those relays, and that was super rewarding. So I loved those moments, and just getting excited with my team. Hardest moments have definitely, some of them have been on NCAP for sure. Just with trying to do everything of that nature with distance and IM, and I've gravitated a little further away from IM. I still swim it from time to time, but usually at dual meets. So, what was this? We did this is another 31 set that we did. But this one was kick, and it was with Steve, and it was just you had I don't know, I think it was it was 31s. It was on 1:30 to 2 minutes or something. Maybe it was 2 minutes, but it was 31s on 2 minutes kick. And it was 8 easy, 4 fast, and then or steady. And then it was six, and then it was all 8. It was 8 fast in a row. And by the end of it, I was like, oh my Lanta. It was a really rough one that day. And then we did 400s pull or something after that. And I was like, what is this? Why do we just out of nowhere? And we had gotten we'd gotten screwed another day too. So, it's definitely those piling up. And we repeat some sets, some race pace sets like that, which are also, why is it always 30? Why is 30?
My coach also does. When I was a club swimmer, we did 3100s, just straight freestyle every week, every Wednesday, 3100s.
Miserable. Why is that number so challenging?
There's just a coaching network where they're like, this is the number that we need to select just to screw everyone over.
No, literally. Yeah, thank you. Oh, a terrible set that that Sergio does is 1575s. And I forget what they're on right now, but it's 1575s that are all out, all main stroke. You don't get to choose or switch or anything like that. It's actually terrible. You're shaking, you're throwing up a little bit.
The butterflies are just on the bottom of the pool.
No, yeah. That's a winter training, a set that's today's going to be the day. Yeah, But yeah, I've had super cool just moments with them, and but you feel better after you've done it. You're like, I did it. And with NCAP, gosh, I'm backtracking again. With NCAP, NCSAs, I don't know if you know that meet, but it's down in Florida. Yeah. Such a fun meet. That meet goes crazy, and that's even that was still Phoebe and Chase. Chase and I have always been teammates. Chase Travis. And Isabel Stodden, and everybody was still there at NCSAs, and we were kids, and we took it so serious, and it was so serious about who scored the most points, who had the best relays. I remember getting so angry, being a child and contributing to these things, but those were awesome, and yeah, and I'm just super grateful and blessed for the time that I've had, and I'm so excited for my last year.
I remember the hardest set I've ever done was 6 years ago, and it's still the hardest set I've ever done. I started club swimming very late, so my number one goal after 3 months when I heard about it was there's a meet at UC Berkeley at Cal every year called the Cal Invite, where they open up the meet to club swimmers, and I'm sure they do some recruiting of the people who make the top of the top finals. And usually the men's or women's team will swim a few events just for fun. And I went there and I'm like, okay, I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity. I need to talk to some of these guys and get some sets from them. I don't remember his name, but I talked to one of the distance guys on the team, And I was like, what's one of like some of your favorite sets? Like, because they were selling like merch and stuff. And I was like
Hmm.
buying merch and asking them about it. You know, like future, getting ready for my future interviews.
Yeah, yeah.
um, it was 24 150s on 130
Oh,
was a set that they would do all the time. So I told my coach, and I was like, let's do them on like 2 minutes, and let's do them in like 2 rounds of 12 where I get like a 50 easy in between.
yeah. Two
And
rounds 12 where I get a 50 easy with me.
it
I like
was
that.
it was brutal. I mean, like, you think like, okay, it's just an extra 50 per like thing, but it's
Hmm.
it like by the time you do like 6 of them, you're like, I want to die.
Yeah, yeah. It gets like that, especially, I don't know what it is. It's just that middle part that you're
Yeah.
just done for.
And
Oh
then like
man.
my favorite memory of college, I mean, there's a definite one. In California, community colleges get 2 years of eligibility instead of four.
Hmm.
And then if you are fast enough or you're able to, you transfer off and swim somewhere else. Um, I, being a COVID college kid,
Hmm.
my first year, our season got cut short, like about halfway through. My second year, it didn't count. Like our second year, we got to compete against however many schools we wanted, however many meets we wanted, and it didn't count. And because my
Oh.
coach was like championing us as much as he was, we
Hmm.
ended up getting to compete the most out of any of the community colleges in California.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like I ended up being like technically on the state champion 800 free relay because no
Yeah.
one swam it, and I was like fourth in the
Yeah.
state in the 200 back because no one swam it.
I
Um,
love it.
but my favorite memory ended up being I ended up getting 4 years. Like I was off at a different college, and I was still enrolled in like BS classes at the community college, so that I could swim. It was my
Okay.
last meet, last swim I did. I had bought my coach. You've seen like those like the stupid looking like Swedish goggles with like the
Yes.
no padding. Those are the only goggles I
Yes.
wear.
I can't stand those. Some people swear by them, swear up and down, left and right. I
I like
cannot
as
do
soon
it.
as I made the switch, I've never gone back. It's been like 5 years and I've never gone back.
That's crazy. Wow. Respect.
They definitely look
Respect.
insane though. But my
You know,
coach would always like.
oh, no, no, no. Okay, pet peeve when people have clear goggles.
Yeah, I hate them.
Clear goggles. Please stop. I'm gonna call out Phoebe Bacon right now for always having clear goggles because I don't. Can you not stare? I love you so much, but like, please, I don't want to look into your eyeballs every time or know that you're looking into my eyeballs. It's insane. You can't do it. And Phoebe sometimes does like this shadow boxing thing, like before bed. She looks scary when she does it. Like she's a big
I've seen
gal.
her with the clear goggles.
I know, and I'm like, stop. I'm not gonna look in your direction. I refuse.
I did like a reel talking about Sarah Schoistrom winning the 50 fly at World Championships, and
Uh
the
huh.
bit was she wears clear goggles too. So I
Hmm.
went way too far for this bit. I bought the same pair of goggles online, and like the video started with like footage of her race, and then it cut to me wearing the goggles, totally serious, just delivering the information.
Incredible. I
It
love the
was so
commitment.
funny. But
Me too.
my coach always jokingly made fun of them. So
Oh,
for as a joke, I bought him a pair that were
oh.
like the colors of our team.
Hmm.
And like I was like, all right, I'm gonna go give them to him and be like, I appreciate you so much. Like, thank you so much because I was the oldest person on the team. I'd been on the team the longest.
Oh.
Like literally in the team's history, I have the record of being on the team for the longest amount of time, and no one's
Oh.
gonna break that. Just, I mean, hopefully COVID won't happen again, but no one's gonna break that as far
Hopefully.
as I know.
Okay.
But I went up to him, and I remember very clearly just holding up the bag and just being like, "These are for you," and just sobbing immediately, just like full tears, like
No.
ugly crying.
No.
he started
that's
crying
so
too.
cute, though.
My coach was like recording us, and like he gave me a hug, and we were both laughing at each other. But like that's definitely like the best memory I've had.
Oh my gosh, that's pure. That's so
'Cause
pure.
I got so lucky. Like I got 4 years out of what was supposed to be two. So like those third and fourth years, like I feel like they made me swim with like a level of like freedom almost.
Yeah.
Because it's like I wasn't supposed to have this time. So like it's like when fifth years talk about it. Like interviewed Zoe Hartman a few weeks ago, and she talked about like that swimming with that freedom and like that carefree attitude with in her fifth year. And I'm like, I know exactly what you mean. Because like you weren't supposed to have this time, and you're appreciating every second of it.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, the sneeze took a second.
Bless you.
I mean, there was also like I lost 2 miles by a combined 19/100ths of a second. 1 year I lost it by 6, and the next year by 13. It was.
Oh, it happens. It happens to the best of us.
I mean, I dropped like a combined minute and a half between both races, but like it stung just a little bit.
I can. Yeah. That's always gonna get you.
I mean, like one time it was to my teammate, and another time it was to my friend on a different team. So it was like I was losing to people who I'd be happy losing to, but like it still stung a little bit.
For sure. For sure.
Caroline, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This will get posted at some point. It's
Okay.
So the dilemma that I have right now, which is in a fantastic dilemma, is if I were to schedule all of my interviews out weekly like I've been doing, I'd be up to August 8th.
Yeah.
So what I'm probably going to end up doing is posting like the shorter ones that I've done, like 2 in 1 week, and then posting the longer ones in an individual week. It'll figure it out, but it'll probably get posted, and like I'll send you a message with like the date that it'll go up.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you so much for sitting down with me. This was so much fun.
Thank you. I had a great time. I love chatting with you. This is awesome.
I'll see you at Olympic trials this summer too.
Incredible.
It's awesome. Like I've been telling people I might see you at Olympic trials, and now I can tell them I will see you at Olympic trials.
Yes. Maybe we can do a couple schmoozing on our own. Some journalism schmooze.
Yeah.
See who we can talk to. See who's around. You know.
Go up to like Rowdy Games and be like, "Hey, guy."
Hey.
I feel so bad. I've clowned on him for so many years because I don't think that he's a very good commentator. But then I met him at Golden Goggles, and he was so nice. I mean, he was like the most genuine, down-to-earth person that I met there. And he shook my hand and talked with me, and he was talking to his wife, and he's like, "Look at him, he's huge." But like, he was genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met. So now when I clown on him, it's with a respect behind it, because he has done like so much for swimming. Like, outside of his commentating, he does a lot to get kids in the water, and to get a lot of kids educated on, like, how to swim, and, like, he does so much outside of his commentating. But, like, I do think he kind of is bad at his job, but... I mean, like, pair him with someone who, like... Pair him with somebody who can, like, be the more analytical one.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be better. But he's just paired with people who either don't know swimming or just make flat-out mistakes. I mean, like, I'm watching, like, World Championships, and the Australian women break the 400 free relay world record by, like, 3 seconds. And he calls Marchand's world record 400 IM time from, like, 3 events ago.
Oh.
And I'm like, how do you make that mistake?
Brother! Come on. They should. Okay, we got to negotiate a way so that we can get like a
Yeah.
second booth.
Yeah.
That's like not like a super serious booth, but just like us, like maybe talking a little smack the whole time. Like, we could be live on Instagram or whatever. We don't care. We'll just
that'd be
be
pretty
off
funny.
and have like a second informal commentary.
We'll have to do some sort of bit like that on like a day that you don't have an event or something that you're not like busy swimming. We'll have to do some sort of
That would
like
be great.
that'd be pretty funny.
We start calling people out unfiltered.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Olympic trials unfiltered. Oh, this could be insane.
That'd be so funny.
I would love. I'll put money down for this.
Caroline, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you this summer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I had a blast. I will see you this summer.
Thank you.